On ASEAN Highlight this week, we recap the Thai political development concerning the government's policy statement and the former PM who gave a press conference in Japan.
On the day that Thai Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra delivered her policy speech to the House of Parliament, her brother and former Thai Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra said at a press conference in Japan that he would not return to Thailand unless there is political reconciliation in the country.
For my plan going back in Thailand, I has no plan. Whatever, whenever reconciliation happen, then that might be. But if reconciliation is not there, I don't want to feel any more conflict. I just want to be part of the solution, not part of the problems.
Toppled by a military coup in 2006, Thaksin briefly returned to Thailand in 2008, but fled the country when the Supreme Court found him guilty of corruption. Thaksin, however, denied any wrongdoing and refused to serve the jail sentence.
If I really commit crimes, not just only a few days, even 2 years, I'm happy to be in the jail. But this is not the crimes committed, but it's politically motivated. If you look at the contents of the sentences, you will see that how strange is it.
He added that even though he contacts his sister Yingluck regularly, he only offers advice when she asks, and Yingluck has the rights to run the country without his interference. Yingluck was earlier bombarded with questions about the possibility of an amnesty or a constitutional amendment that would help bring Thaksin home. However, such a move could revive the anti-Thaksin movement and overshadow her work. Meanwhile, Thailand's opposition party accused the foreign minister of aiding fugitive Thaksin obtain a travel visa to Japan. An official of the Japanese Foreign Ministry, however, said Japan granted a visa to Thaksin out of consideration for the diplomatic ties between Japan and Thailand, and Thaksin's purpose for visiting Japan was to provide assistance to the victims of the tsunami. Akanit Wichienjaran of Thai News Agency, ASEAN TV.
Last week, Myanmar pro-democracy leader Aung San Suu Kyi met with President Thein Sein, and on Wednesday, she met with UN Special Rapporteur on Human Rights Thomas Ojea Quintana. More in this report.
The almost an hour meeting with President Thein Sein, the new civilian president, in the capital Naypyidaw has marked a rare encounter between the Nobel laureate and one of the former top generals who kept her locked up for much of the past 2 decades. And although the details of the first ever meeting between the government and the opposition was not immediately available, the chief political advisor to the president, Koko Halaying, said ahead of the talks that it is an important step for national reconciliation. A government official and a member of Suu Kyi's entourage have said the talks was held behind closed doors at the presidential office, but the agendas of the talks were unspecified. The meeting also brought the democracy icon on her first visit to the capital at the invitation of the government. Meanwhile, an anonymous Western diplomat stationed in Myanmar described the talks with Suu Kyi as significant, but noted the government's motives were unclear. On Saturday, the Myanmar opposition leader voiced her opinion about Friday's talks after she attended a government-sponsored forum in the capital that she was pleased and satisfied with the meeting. The government's invitation to Suu Kyi to the meeting has created careful optimism that the new civilian-led government of Thein Sein is heading towards reconciliation. Later on Wednesday, the Nobel Peace Laureate met with Quintana, UN Special Envoy on Human Rights, and had a 2-hour talk at her lakeside residence in Yangon after Quintana arrived from Myanmar capital, Naypyidaw. Then speaking after meeting with the UN envoy, Suu Kyi said she was very encouraged to have met with Mr. Quintana because he is an expert on human rights issues and is very eager to help improve the human rights situation in the military-dominated country. Quintana was barred from entering Myanmar in March 2010, following a report accusing Myanmar rulers of human rights violations. The UN's envoy was allowed back on Monday and was in the capital Naypyidaw while Parliament was in session, holding several meetings with officials and political parties. This is ASEAN TV news team of Thai News Agency reporting for ASEAN TV.
Earlier this week, Cambodian Chamber of Commerce and a U.S. representative signed an MoU to boost trade and investment between the two countries. More in this report.
President of the Cambodia Chamber of Commerce, Okna Kit Meng, and representative of the U.S. Import-Export or the Exim Bank and the U.S. Ambassador to Cambodia, Carol A. Rodley, signed a memorandum of understanding to boost trade and investment between the U.S. and Cambodia. The MoU called for Exim Bank to underwrite the risk of non-performing medium and long-term loans extended by Cambodian commercial banks to ASEAN buyers of U.S. goods and services. The MoU was under the U.S. ASEAN Trade and Investment Framework Arrangement, or the TIFA, and with this MoU, the Cambodia Chamber of Commerce has now joined hands with business chambers in Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. In June 2009, President Barack Obama said the private sector in Cambodia was eligible to obtain financing under the Export-Import Bank Act of 1945 to purchase U.S. products. The U.S. Export-Import Bank is an independent, self-sustaining U.S. federal agency that provides loan guarantees, export credit insurance, and directs loans to emerging markets to help them purchase U.S. goods and services. I'm Akanit Wichienjaran of Thai News Agency, ASEAN TV.
A concert by a Vietnamese group was performed this week at Thailand's Mahidol College of Music as part of the celebration of 35 years of diplomatic relation between Vietnam and Thailand. This musical performance was a part of a week-long celebration marking the 35th anniversary of diplomatic ties between Hanoi and Bangkok, organized by the Vietnamese Embassy in Thailand along with other partners. The Vietnamese artists involved were professional performers who came from all over Vietnam. The songs they performed includes Vietnamese folk and contemporary songs, as well as compositions of His Majesty the King of Thailand and a variety of Thai songs. The Vietnamese ambassador to Thailand, Ngo Duc Thang, paid tribute to the power of music as a bridge between different people and also points out the cultural similarities that existed between Thai and Vietnamese.
Music is one of the means of communication without words. People still can understand, right? And I think through the music and the dance, the songs, people can understand each other. And especially during this, we also have the lecture about the original of the music, the art, the song, using the bamboo, using the drums in the Dong Sơn area. And it proved one of the things that the Thai people and the Vietnamese people are indeed indigenous people in this region. And I think that based on that, we can build an identity for the Southeast Asian nations.
Apart from this performance at the Mahidol College of Music, this group of artists will be performing in several provinces in the northeast of Thailand. The Vietnamese embassy will also open the Ho Chi Minh Museum in the province of Udon Thani to highlight the milestone of cordial relations between the two countries. Thai News Agency team reporting for ASEAN TV. As Colonel Gadaffi rule in Libya is coming to an end this week, we take a look at some of the reaction in Southeast Asia from this development.
Indonesian and Thai foreign ministries expressed well wishes to the people of Libya as rebels demanding the resignation of Muammar Gadaffi swept into the city center on Sunday night. Director General of the Department of Information and spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Thailand, Mr. Thani Thong Pakdi, stated in response to a media inquiry about the situation in Libya that Thailand hopes the situation will return to normalcy as soon as possible through an inclusive democratization process accepted by the Libyan people. Thailand's Ministry of Foreign Affairs is in close contact with the Royal Thai Embassy in Tripoli in monitoring the welfare and safety of the Thai people in Libya. According to the embassy, all Thais in Libya are safe with no reports of any Thais hurt or injured. So far, no one has expressed the wish to depart the country. Meanwhile, a statement by the Indonesian Foreign Ministry sent to the Jakarta Post on Monday stated that it hoped that violence afflicting the Libyan people would soon end and the nation would transit to a democracy. Indonesian Foreign Minister Martin Natalegawa said in a press release that the Indonesian government lends its support and allows the choice that the Libyan people have made because they know what is best for the future of their nation. Indonesia's Ministry of Foreign Affairs also hoped that the transition in Libya would give more protection to the Libyan people and prevent the people from becoming victims of violence that might arise. It also expected that any new government assuming power would give the people a chance to determine their own future. Indonesia also urges the United Nations to play a role in ensuring the best options are provided to the Libyan people. Hundreds of people have been killed since the outbreaks of the protests began in February. Libyan rebels have said they offered 2 million dinar or about $1.67 million on the head of the strongman Gadaffi, dead or alive. However, Gaddafi's whereabouts remain unknown. Thai news agency team reporting for ASEAN TV.
The formation of the ASEAN Economic Community in 2015 will create all sorts of opportunities for the people of this region. Up next, we take a look at how university students who are studying hospitality perceive the opening up of the tourism sector in the region. More in this report. Making up the bed, this housekeeper is busily spreading the sheets evenly across the mattress and neatly tucking in the corners to get this room ready for the next guest at this Bangkok hotel. After decades of being a world-renowned tourist destination, the standard of services and hospitality in the city of Bangkok, while varies according to the price range, have to be well maintained to continue attracting tourists from all over the world, particularly as ASEAN aims to boost the region's tourism industry by 2015 through the liberalization of investment and skilled labor market. The free flow of skilled labor through the formation of the ASEAN Economic Community in 2015 will go a long way in enhancing the existing capacity of this region's tourism industries in welcoming and catering for foreign tourists. At the same time, it will provide more opportunity for the workers and the people within this industry as well. Keenly aware of this opportunity, 24-year-old Wongcha-um from Siem Reap, Cambodia, who dreams of one day owning a resort in his hometown, came to study hospitality and tourism at Thailand's Thurikit Bandit University to familiarize himself with international standards of services and gain hands-on experiences.
If I can, I want to run my own business as hotel manager of my own hotel. But if I can't, I just work for other people, work in hotel, or it can be I want to be a lecturer in hospitality and tourism. I think they can produce more human resource in the regions because like some countries like Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam, they have very low human resource. So if they can come to Thailand or can be Singapore or Malaysia, they can upgrade their human resource management and then they can work with other hotel chain, international hotel chains, and then the revenue for the people, the local people will be increased.
Wongcha-um's friend, Vanny Huoc, knows that his training here will increase his chances to compete in the expanded ASEAN hospitality market after 2015 and beyond.
In the next 5 years, we will have one big community that all the 10 countries will join hands together to develop the economy. So I can say the boom economies will be broader, wider. It means like more hotels, more service industry, business, and other companies from international business and national business. So I can say there's a lot of job waiting for us in the next 5 years.
Already possessed with many world-class tourist destinations, Southeast Asian tourism stand to benefit from more professionalism, proper trainings, and experiences that will be boosted by regional integration. Hopefully, through this process, the hopes and dreams of young people like Monaram and Vani will be realized as well. I'm Panut Wongcha-um of Thai News Agency reporting for ASEAN TV. And that's it for this edition of ASEAN Highlights. On behalf of the ASEAN News team at Thai News Agency, I hope you all will have a lovely weekend and Sawasdee krap.